Okay, we're back on Grim Nasty TV. Don't mind the bulldogs sleeping in the background. But so basically, your ear is a canal that's full of goo that has solidified itself into a gelatinous form. Inside of this gelatinous form, it is a sludgy, nasty mess that gets to the point to where everything becomes extremely hot. And then it turns into a rock as it gets closer to it, like it gets harder, this sludge material. And then your sludge material fills all the way up to, say, about right here, and to what you believe is an eardrum. And then outside of it is the ring that goes outside of the ear. So in between here and there is what appears to be the eardrum is really a gelatinous membrane mass that disrupts once you start using turpentine. And then it opens the ear up and allows the ear to breathe, and then you get a suction type force that is this ring right here. It comes out and goes, and then it gives you the ability to the ear starts to breathe, and then you can hear better, and your senses get a little clearer and stuff like that. And then it reminds me of a lot like one of these type of stress toys here. So this ring here eventually starts to loosen, and it starts to juice because it gets so hot that all this stuff just melts out under either meditation. Chi meditation ruptures this membrane, and turpentine does that. That's what I've discovered, that I get so hot that it melts, and all this stuff that tries to come back, it just melts. And it's all just sludgy green glue that smells really rotten and bad, like it's super infected. So once that's all gone, your ear smells so much better. There's no more wax except for at this rock base that starts to kind of starts to ooze it out. So everything we learn is just a lie. Everything we learn about our physical makeup in our body. And this eventually starts to come loose. And when it does, the stuff leaks out of the ear like that. And you start steaming. And steam comes out of your mouth. One of the kids, even though they don't really like me very much, they say, yeah, I saw steam come out of your mouth. And every time I do this now, every day now, steam comes out of my eyes, and I see the steam, but I'm waiting that I get to a point where I get so hot that I can put it on a camera and say, man smoking head, video or whatever, or however that. But I'm gonna wait for that because that's coming. That's right around the corner. I just have to keep pushing. So what I do is I get so hot, and these types of things are really hard to self-induce. So you have to take your time. Because take a look at this. This is like this whole area here, and the bone and the structure of the head even has a hole up here that was like considered like your cradle cap or whatever they call that stuff. And they say don't touch the soft spot. It's because you would break it. If you break that on a kid's head, the Jack hair that's seen on Incredibles is the flame that comes out and gives you the superpowers, because your pineal gland gets free and it shoots up, and then you get full perception of yourself and full acknowledgement. So while this is happening, everything that's shrunk down comes out like this. So it all like rips. And I'm realizing that your head is supposed to be wider. Like all of this is like comes out and extends itself to something like that. And inside the ear, and it has suctions, and it cleans it, and it sends electricity up and down it. It's quite extraordinary, and it hurts at first when you first do this. Like when you first do this, it's not easy. It's really hard, but then you eventually get strong enough to where it's second nature for you to feel this. You'll just be walking around with all this heat coming out, and you'll start smoking. And sometimes when you push it up, you can pry the eyes open. Different ways to go about it. It'll balloon it up. It separates the pineal gland. For me, for right now, I have separated scar tissue, all that stuff, and created a sac that's separate from it. And that's how you form things like these cones, like on top of your head. It just turns into it because it forms. And see here? So it blows out. And then it catches a shape that starts out kind of like this, and then it also has this feeling. And then it balloons out again, and it gets higher. And then you blow it up a little higher. So then sometimes you'll have this effect where it just kind of just goes up, and it's separate, remember. So you're blowing up a bag, kind of like the Cat in the Hat or something. And it blows up, and it's a fucking goddamn head rush straight from, oh my gosh. And then everything around me at this point is becoming extremely conscious, to the point to where there was a sheet that was hanging, and it had nose and nostrils, kind of like a little troll face. It was a big ass troll face, actually, but it was extremely conscious, and it was like meditating, or in a meditative state. And I found it, I've been looking at it every day, and it gets more alive. That's what I'm trying to say. It's more alive. There's electrical signatures running across everything, and it got so much that I had to go lay down. I was like, look, I'm gonna go sleep because I'm dizzy and shit. Like, I don't know what the hell. So I lay down, and it doesn't really make it stop. It just says, hey, if you're gonna do this, I'm unconscious. So if you're gonna fucking blow or whatever, hey, nothing I can do about it. I'm gonna be out, and you just do you. So the thing is that while you're laying down on your spine, it makes it more too. It makes it it pulls it down like that. It pulls it back and makes your head, the weight of your head, like kind of like shift. So it's ideal to hang your head back and wiggle it sometimes to kind of shake up a lot of this calcification. So another thing, last thing, is that once it gets up to the top, you'll notice that the cradle cap or whatever it is that you had is like a hole in your brain. Like, look at an x-ray of a brain, and you'll see that there's a hole in it, and then you'll see that there's these little side things in it, and that's where all that fire shoots through. In your head, your organs and everything. People can't find it simple to consume human organs unless they have sharp teeth, unless they're like not human, or they have superhuman strength, because human organs are flame retarded, and so is parts of the brain. So whenever you see, like, there's a sitcom called Happy, and this dude does this operation bit, and it's a black background. You could probably Google that, and then it turns into real organs, and it's like, obviously this dude did some ritual or something to get in it. So when you see how he chews on it, it's like extremely like impossible. And I'm just like, that's exactly, if you ever seen like Faces of Death or something like that, people see that when they're kids. I've seen that before. And you can't chew on human organs. It's like you're joking yourself. Like you're biting and pulling around on it, and you need some help to get it to be softer, because the shit is flame retardant. Like, you're like goddamn Fire Nation in here. Unbelievable. So, yeah, another thing, these trolls that is associated with that Foster the People album look like a lot like the faces I see in the sheets and stuff now. These electrical signatures are showing off what appears to be troll entities that are in the grass and stuff, like things that existed that died and come back as something else, perhaps, like a face coming out of some rocks or something. Like, it's trolls I see sometimes. But yeah, boom, I'm doing all these different techniques, and I'm staying on it, and it hurts like hell at first, but then you get used to it, and that's exactly how it is. It hurts at first, and then it gets a relief. You feel pressure come off of these areas, and you're just like, oh, nice and warm, nice and tingly. When you put turpentine on your hair to start to loosen some of this stuff up from the outside, which is a great idea, it feels like it's burning at first. But then after that, it feels like your hair and your antennas and all of that is coming on, and it's very gratifying. Like, you push your pineal gland out of the front and start sizzling. But then it just falls in because it's all soft. And it fucking feels good, like you're taking pressure off your head, because this shit's swelling from the inside out. And yeah, you get used to it. Just keep pushing. So that is the progress report I have for right now. It is getting more and more endowed. It is turning into this cone thingy, and I just keep on pushing it out, and eventually it's going to fly all the way off. It like bounces. It gets up, and you're just like a slingshot effect. Like I call it backlash from it. So I get up real high, and you don't really realize how high you are unless you're just not listening to music or whatever, and you're focused. And then when you come back down, it's like, and then you get used to it, and then it's like, and I call that like the backlash, like a slingshot. So stay tuned for more as it gets hotter and hotter. My head feels like a matchstick top. And then it's gonna explode into a fiery whatever explosion, and we're gonna see what the hell happens. Oh my goodness. Stay tuned and stay awake.